Welcome to another episode of the Angels Positivity and Love Show. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights and an incredible vibe to share with all of us. Call it love, call it giving service to others, call it holding space. And that's what our guest does today for all of us. She's been on the show a few times before. Coming to us from Atlanta, she's a medical intuitive and much more. Show host, I'm going to say prolific author, more than 10 books, a lot of them Amazon bestsellers. She knows her stuff on the healing front, actual veteran. And so it'll be super fun to get her talking today about compassion, humanity, kindness, how we don't have to pay attention to too many details overseas or domestically to hold the space for others, to be a higher vibe. Catherine Carrigan, great to see you again. Great to have you back on.
It's so great. Thank you so much, Michael, for having me on the show. And everyone, I hope that you're uplifted by our show, our talk.
You've been through a surgery lately. We don't need to get into the details. You're on the mend and you're flying along, I think, on your recovery. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Talk to us about you've had a long career helping others. You've had a book of business that's been incredible. But I kind of feel like you're hitting another stage. And when you've kind of rounded the bases and done everything, how is almost everything I'm betting looking new to you or different or evolving?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking. So, as of this recording, I'm 66 years old. I only have 32 years experience in natural healing, right? And it's interesting you asked me that because just recently I was journaling about what I've done well in my business because I've had my own business since I was 34, so that's 32 years. And on the one level, I do everything wrong because so many healers now, you've got to buy my, $5,000, my $10,000, my $15,000 program. And I don't do that. I actually want to help everyone. And I charge what I think is a reasonable rate. And I think when you're a master healer, you can just go right to the issue and resolve it.
Mhm.
And so I actually have done a number of radio shows about business. And I'm always very encouraging for people because it's like you can make a great living out of this. But I think it goes beyond gimmicks. It's about being real and actually helping people. One, I have a yoga student because I've also taught yoga for 31 years, and and ironically, he's a medical doctor, and his sister is a healer. And she looks at me. It's like, well, what's your secret? And I'm like, work really hard and actually help people, right? But I think there's something about going right to the heart of the issue, which I have the capacity to do as a medical intuitive healer. So when you go right to the heart of the issue and then gently find the solution for people, then you can move a tremendous amount of energy really quickly. I give some examples. Last week, I had a session with a lady, and we'd had a session a month before that, and she'd had an eating disorder. Well, we had one session and it was completely resolved. And she was shocked. And I have another client who'd had seizures, epileptic seizures, literally every day of his life. He actually works in a hospital. And when he'd have these seizures, he would drop to the floor and people would literally walk over him. And after our second session, they literally stopped. And he'd been everywhere trying to get better. So, to my fellow healers and people wanting to, make a business, I say, drop the pretense. Don't feel like you have to be beautiful on Instagram. Just be real. Just be real and go right to the core of the issues with people in a compassionate way and really help people because when you look at it from an energetic perspective, you can't outgive God. And whatever you put out into the universe is what's going to come back to you. I own my house, I own my car, I have zero debt, I have investments at Morgan Stanley. I am conventionally successful in an unconventional career. And again, it's all about actually helping people.
How has your definition of compassion shifted over time?
That's a really great question because I think that so many people think compassion is only a quality of the heart, right? But as we become master healers, you have the left brain information and you have the right brain intuition, and it's not either or, it's all of the above. And so I think my newer definition of compassion would be to be completely present with another individual, and not just from my heart, but from my total being, from my wisdom self, from my physicality, from my heart, certainly from my intellect, from my soul, but being completely present, mind, body, and spirit with another individual. And when you have that presence, it's the energy that shifts. I remember a long time ago, I interviewed a lady named Emily Conrad, and I have had the pleasure and honor of not running not just one but two radio shows. And in my first radio show, Emily Conrad was my favorite guest. And she was the originator and founder of a system of movement called Continuum, which, in a nutshell, helps people who are literally totally paralyzed be able to move again. And she had an interesting career. She was a genius. You had to be really smart even to understand what she was saying. But one of her sayings is, "You are the technique." In other words, many people, we study healing, we learn about how to connect to our angels, you learn energy healing, you learn flower essences, you learn coaching, whatever it is that you learn. And but at the end of the day, again, it's not just what you know or the techniques that you do, it's the energy and your presence that shifts the other individual's energy. And all healing, when you understand healing, when you are unwell, you're in a state of low vibration. And the easiest way to understand this is if you we've all had a cold at one point or the other. And when you have a cold, you're lying on the sofa, you can hardly move. It's a big effort to get up and make chicken soup. And so it's all illness is slowed down vibration. And all healing happens when you lift the vibration, when you shift the vibration. So when you put yourself in high frequency energy, the high frequency itself does the work. And what that looks like, to answer your question, compassion is giving yourself permission as a healer to show up with your true authentic self, all of you, warts and all, and be present and allow your energy to make the shift.
Beautiful. Another beautiful answer. I think we're like 3 for 3 at this point, but not counting. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 to 5 definitions of compassion, and I would love just to have a spontaneous response because you're really good at putting everything into words, and it'll be great to hear which way you take this. So these are definitions. I think if we grabbed Jesus, Mary, 400 angels, and 10,000 people to do the listening, and we had them ask, what is compassion daily for 10 years? I don't think any two answers have to be the same. So Jesus said sometime probably around 2014, Jesus said, compassion is open eyes and open heart. Archangel Raphael said, compassion is releasing fears and judgments. Abe, the Abraham of old, said, compassion is not judging, taking action with no thought. Dale, a very fun angel, said, compassion is just being and trusting the outcome to be of the highest intent for all. And two more. Mac, don't call her Mackenzie, another angel, said, compassion is treating every moment with the awareness of a newborn baby. And then Dull Knife, Native American chief, unconditional love, said, compassion is being kind to yourself and letting go of past failures and accomplishments in the now. I'll add one more that somebody said, compassion for all is life. Which way do you want to take us for a quick walk down compassion lane?
Oh, that is so beautiful. And my initial response is, if we say the color blue, well, maybe I'm thinking of turquoise and you're thinking navy. And so there's different, everybody has a different picture, a different reality on compassion. But I would also liken it to that the experience of eating chocolate is different from the description of chocolate,
Mm.
right? And I think that as far as compassion goes, then when you're in that experience, right? And again, going back to compassion, I would say as a long-term professional healer, I get so much literally thrill and ecstasy out of doing my work. I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, a gentleman came to see me, and his presenting issue was that he had severe neuropathy, and he had neuropathy in his right hand. He had an old injury in his right hand, and both of his feet had neuropathy. And he was a diabetic. Neuropathy is basically where you lose the feeling in your hands and feet.
Mm.
And anyway, he was my age. I'm 66. I was a month older than him. And every day he gets up at 4 a.m., gets ready for work, leaves his house at 5 a.m., drives 45 minutes to the post office, and then works all day driving a forklift, right? And at any rate, we went over many, many things to help him with his neuropathy. I could speak for an hour and a half, but I went over all the different aspects. And at the end of our session, he said to me, "You have helped me more than anyone ever has."
Mm.
He said, "I've been to nutritionists, I've been to doctors, I've been to healers, and just that acknowledgement, my heart felt so wide. My heart was deeply fulfilled. And and he was in a deep state of appreciation because he felt recognized, he felt heard, he felt understood, and best of all, he had solutions. So this dear gentleman still working really, really hard. His days off are Thursday, Friday. So he's working really, really hard at age 66, wanting to feel better, right?
Mm.
So again, it's a another definition of compassion is a whole body experience
Mm.
of complete presence and unconditional love.
That's a beautiful definition. I like that. I'm going to read a couple definitions that are going to take us back a question or two, points that you were already making. And I'll do another series of quotes, but I'd love for you to find a new way to sort of cover the same ground all over again,
Yeah.
trampolining from or propelling yourself off these quotes. A healer is simply someone who helps a person confront opposing forces within him or herself to
Mm,
promote health. A true healer kindles the power already within another. And
mm.
then a healer is someone who's able to raise their frequency to connect to the source, light energy, while keeping themselves clear and fully connected. They use this elevated frequency to help others directly or indirectly. Where will you take us now?
I'm gonna trampoline off of your last description where you're talking about a healer being in a state of high frequency, and you will really appreciate this story. So I have a healing room. So I'm very blessed. I work out of my house. My house is 3 stories, and my healing room is on the ground floor. So to give you a visual, I live in Atlanta, and I'm literally in the center of Atlanta, but I am so blessed. My house is literally surrounded by forests. Like if I'm in my healing room working, I look out on my organic garden, which surrounds the house, and then out into deep forest. And so I see deer, I hear the owls, I see all the birds, and so on. And any rate, so obviously, like everybody else, you go down, you get ready to go to work. And my healing room is full of orchids.
Hmm.
So I have floor to ceiling windows that are full of all kinds of orchids. I love orchids, and orchids are the most evolved flowers on the face of the earth. And, so again, once you understand healing happens when you lift the vibration, I have, when people come to see me in person, they walk in the room and they're like, I feel better already. It's so beautiful, so full of light, so full of orchids. Right now, I've got chocolate orchids, a kind of insidium that are blooming. And so the whole room smells like chocolate orchids. But at any rate, I go down to work and I'm getting ready. And I was working, actually, about to work with a lady in Poland on Zoom. And I looked out over my orchids, and you can appreciate this, Michael Andre Ford. And I could literally see the angels coming into the room.
Mm.
And I was like, wow, it's like everybody's coming in, getting ready to go to work, right? And fortunately, I was paying attention. I'm like, wow, they're all coming in to help this lady in Poland. And so I had my little iPhone and I took pictures. And if you go to my website, catherinecarrigan.com, I have angel photos on my website. And everybody's like, yeah, sure. And then you see these photos, it's like, oh my God, they're the angels, right? So anyway, I'm getting ready to go to work on Zoom with this lady in Poland, and then I could see the angels coming in my healing room. And it was just the most uplifting experience, right? So I haven't even started my work, and I'm looking out at my beautiful orchids so I can see the angels coming in. So I'm uplifted. I'm in a joyful state, right? I recognize the angels. It's like, because I think I would agree, you would agree, Michael, because I believe that we're all surrounded by angels 24/7, and it's really just a question of, are we communicating with them? Are we recognizing that they're there? Are we asking for their help? So when you ask for their help and you recognize they're there, it, you know, and I think it's about getting better at recognizing them, right? So it's kind of like if your best friend calls you on the phone, you don't go, "Who is this?" You recognize, right? So I recognize the angels literally coming in to be of assistance to me. And it was from that place of joy, of recognition of the angels coming in to help me, that I then began to work. And at that point, it's just literally easy.
When you're doing service on a person, is it always the same mannerisms for you, or does it depend if they're physically in front of you? Are you using your hands, your eyes then go shut, or are you seeing light from your hands around them? Are you hearing angels directly? Could you put some flavor, some detail to kind of the range of experiences you have?
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for asking. So I back up a little bit. So one of my 10 books is called Unlimited Intuition Now, and it's about the different forms of intuition. And I joke, just like being a blonde or a brunette or having gray hair, which is my gray hair is definitely coming in. My hair is all real, by the way. There's no bad, right? It's just different. And so my primary gift is claircognizance, which is just knowing.
Hmm.
So when you're claircognizant, you just know stuff, right? And it's a very fast gift. So when I'm working with people, it's just like we're having a little chat. And I have people who say, on the first visit, you understand me better than my best friend who's known me for 20 years. So what my experience is like is just a deep knowing, right? And whereas other people are clairsentient and they feel the energy, other people are clairvoyant where they see the aura or see, right, the angels or what have you. And then what's the other one? Clairaudient, which is where they hear. And I do believe that as you open your intuitive gifts, you can have experiences of all of those. And I've definitely used all of those gifts in my work. But Primarily, it's clear cognizant, or I just know, right? And yeah,
I've seen you use all the clairs, and so we're actually going to then pivot and probably go that direction. We'll get back to a linear interview in just a second, but we'll take some steps that I want to let the audience know. You can take these steps too. Everyone has a big heart with no limits. Sure, there's a lot of thinking or buts that'll pop up. I think I've only got one bit of structure, which is just ask angels to make it nice. So if you think you need help with any of this, just ask angels, hey, angels, get me out of my head into my heart. Thanks. If you want to add more, help me smell the sage, help me see light, help me hear an angel, throw it in there. And it doesn't have to be thanks. It could be amen, rock and roll. You're from India, Om Sai Ram. It's got to be you setting your intent. Whatever you would do to get on a tennis court and have a wonderful day, or to go for a run and you want to run an extra mile, not 2 miles. Okay, are you ready? We're going to light some sage, show some light, put up a selenite stick crystal. I don't know what to call it. Wad, Ron's, point, something. And we're going to put some angel photos up. And we have angel photos at this end too. And you've seen these photos before, and you can meet the angels directly. You've done that before. I've got to get my head together so I can light some sage. So I'm going to light sage, lighter, sage, red-tailed hawk feather. You can catch it through two screens. Catherine's only done this, I'm going to say, a half dozen times. What else am I supposed to say? So smell the sage through two screens, and it doesn't matter if you're in Tokyo, Berlin, Christchurch, and the year is 2033. Catch some sage. Allow, allow, allow. No try Yoda. Always try Archangel Gabriel. They're all correct. Not about words. Just be in your heart. Okay. You already getting the sage in Atlanta from Texas? Okay.
for sure.
Could you close your eyes and just ask light to come in on your eyelids? Have your favorite angels come in or surprise you with some light. Let us know when you're getting the light. Oh, and breathe through your mouth if anybody wants to turn up the volume. Extra breathing, shoulders up and down, turns it up. What light are you getting on your eyelids?
I'm getting sort of a bluish light, like blue purple light, right?
I
Like
love.
six chakra, seven chakra frequency, six, seven chakra frequency.
Ooh, and that's going to be one of our topics when we finish up on this, is to have you talk about the chakras a little. Okay, if you don't mind putting a hand out, but you'll hear it as well as if you want to get a few words from the selenite, you'll catch a frequency that's hopefully very pleasant, and you'll feel a hum through your body. Feel it on your hands separately. And then finally, what few words does the selenite have for all of us?
Harmony, resonance.
I love it. Okay, so I'm going to put that down, and then I'm going to show a little bit of a light, and then we'll do a few angels. I'll try to remember Claire, since we mentioned all the Claire, Sentient, and Claire's. I'll try to remember Harmony as well. And of course, Joy, you mentioned her too. Okay, you see a little bit of light between my fingers. Just say the colors out loud when you see it, and I'll go bigger. And people have been getting objects for a couple of years now. Two cardinals, two phoenixes, Merkaba, balls of light, vortices. It could be a rainbow hummingbird. It could be anything. Although we've had a lot of ascended master faces, so I'm leaving that all out there. It could be just more light. It doesn't matter. But it should be fun. That's the most important thing, which reminds me now I would have forgotten. A dad joke to help you loosen up at home. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen Dancer, just those two. Why do they drink so much coffee? Because they're Santa's Starbucks. And I'll put my fingers up. Breathe through the mouth at home. Leave your eyes on the spot between the fingers and just see a little filament of light or a lot of light. Catherine, what are you seeing for a flow?
I'm definitely seeing a face,
Ooh,
and it's like a female angel, like a female archangel. I don't know the name, but it's definitely a female archangel.
we went straight to it on that one. Okay, for folks at home, I'm going to go back to just slow and a little and see what you can see, feel what you can feel. Don't judge. And if you had fun with this, just put an emoji down in the comments, share, like, comment, check out Catherine's website. Her details and all her other appearances on this show or the APL Spotlight series will be below the video in the details. Okay, one or two more quick steps. Here's Joy. If you don't mind having her come in four different ways, put your hand up, feel her vibe off the photo. But hear Joy come in verbally, and she'll get you something private, get a hug with that down your back, but then get something for public consumption, and she'll move and change in the photo or on your eyelids. She can make light symbols or a pleasant experience. Let us know what you're getting and when you're ready to share.
Ease. She's just reminding us that things can be easy.
I like that. You can walk a smoother path anytime. Good luck with that, though. There's something called thinking. Here's Claire, who's resilience, but also clarity.
Hmm.
And what are you getting from Claire?
Depth, like just multi-dimensional depth. And the reminder that that our life exists in multiple dimensions and that each of us is living our life in multiple dimensions at the same time. And we can get stuck in the 3D, or we can remember that we're also living our life as a soul and seeing that expanded awareness.
Ooh. I mean, how many home runs can you hit in one interview? You're doing it. Um, the chakras and then interdimensionality and stuff like that. Well, those will be two of the topics coming up. Here's harmony. It's supposed to be rainbow light. She chose
Hmm.
tranquility as her keyword, but obviously she's harmony as well. What are you getting from harmony?
I'm actually getting third chakra and being at peace in your own personal power. So being in harmony with your own personal power, that's what I'm getting.
Here's Charlotte. She's everybody's favorite teacher. If you remember a great teacher from second or third grade or second or third form, Mrs. Wilson, but not the one who got you in trouble. This is a cool teacher. What's Charlotte coming in with?
Playfulness.
Hmm. Now, there's a lot of seriousness going on around the globe. It could be environmental, earthquakes, disasters. It could be politics. It could be assassinations. It could be anything. And that stuff's not necessarily going away right away. Can you have her address how to take it in stride without putting her head in the sand like an ostrich, but also not getting consumed by it? How is there a balance? And is there a bigger plan for humanity that people should feel reassured about?
Yeah, I think it's letting go. First of all, realizing that your ego is not in charge, and that how I think the world should be is not necessarily how things actually are. But when we take a more playful attitude about things, then you see that bigger picture, right? But everything doesn't have to be so deadly serious all the time.
Hmm. And then a very oceany angel named Minn. This is a silhouette guardian angel for me. And if anyone's seen episode 110, Dr. Karen Wyatt, retired physician, this is her guardian angel. She recognized her right away, shared a beautiful story of being in bed when she was 8 or 9. And an angel in white at the foot of her bed showed up. It was a safe house, safe bed, safe night. And she knew she wanted to be a doctor from then on. And she got to meet her for half an hour on Redondo Beach as a human, which is great. So you can see angels in full human form, just as a FYI. What are you getting from Minn? And even the name is the Lakota Sioux word for water, Minn like Minnesota.
So I get that the angel Min has been with humanity since the time of cave paintings, and that she's been with humanity for millennia, and she has a deep understanding of the challenges that human beings face on an ongoing basis. So she has a deep, compassionate, but also left brain logical understanding of the challenges that human beings face.
And could you get one more, almost like a mantra or a saying that if rough waters show up, you accidentally put on the news, or another bit of bad news pops up across the news that's pretty significant, how can you stay the course and stay in your heart? The most important place to be is your heart. What does she have as a quick reminder that we might remember a month or two from now?
I'm a powerful soul.
I love that. Last couple, I'll put up Geronimo in a second. I have another angel named Dale. Might have coached a famous Olympic athlete we all know from the 70s, 80s who won a lot of golds. He's very funny, like a Greg Kinnear, if you needed to picture him as a human. But the soul's development, how all that contrast and all the opportunities and the failures, the accomplishments, your experiences, how it contributes to the soul's development. Can you have a quick chat about the soul's expansion and why you're here?
So what I get about the angel Dale is that he brings in extraterrestrial energy and that his perspective, you're laughing, am I right?
Andromeda was his original place, even though he's an angel today. Sirius for her, Orion for her,
Yeah,
Cosmic for her. So she's more like an archangel that way. Okay.
yeah. So what Dale brings as kind of perspectives that like pulling out of the hat you may never have thought of. So, just extra dimensional intuition, insights, things that you may never have thought of.
And again, you might be in a rocky relationship or health situation or all the tension going on again around you in society or wherever. Um, how is the don't worry, be happy expression totally relevant? You're not being insolent to someone else if you're actually practicing happiness. How is that so important? Don't worry, be happy, but you and him will springboard off of this.
So I think what we all need to remember is that you are a soul, and as a soul, you're never broken. Your soul is whole and complete, and your soul literally is always connected to everything that your soul needs to fulfill your soul purpose. Even if it's just a phone number, right? Even if it's just an insight, I need to listen to Michael Andre Ford today, right? So your soul is whole. So you may feel broken, you may be hurting, you may be anxious or depressed, but at the soul level, you're okay. And it's remembering your wholeness, remembering your innate soul power that will help you connect to the solutions and that will help you move to the next level.
Pure brilliance, Catherine Carrigan, beautiful. Okay, if you could only pick two out of Dale, Harmony, Claire, Charlotte, Joy, or Min, which two are saying pick me and have you selected?
I get Min for sure, and then Dale, because I'm almost getting there's a polarity between them,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
If you could put one hand out for one and one hand out for the other and let two different vibrations that are love and above pass through your entire core, your body, your light body. And
Mhm.
if you could close your eyes and breathe through your mouth extra today, allow your soul higher self to show up first as an aurora borealis and connect to your highest of a highest you. And you can lower your hands off camera now and just still feel the vibe coming in that way or whatever's comfortable for you through your hands. See and experience your soul in a new way. Let them be your ambassadors for something fun. Who knows where this is going to go, but some wisdom out of it all that you can share with us. But have an experience for like 30, 40 seconds here.
So what I get between those two angels, Min and Dale, is that together they help to open and activate our second chakra. Now, so many people think of your second chakra as your sexual chakra, which it is, but it's also your center of personal power. And when you're in your power, you remember who you are and you move forward from the strength, vitality, and resilience of who you are.
Can you tap into angels for the following topic? Standing in your power, which is really love. I like that word better. Standing in your highest frequency or vibration, standing in the highest of views. In the face of anything, worry, fear, someone's trying to tell you that you have to act a certain way, and you are able to stand. You don't even have to respond with a yes or no. You can stand in your own light. Can you expand on that, what that means?
That's just beautiful. Standing in your own light. Again, I think it's about remembering who you actually are. So many of us, we have limited different definitions of who we are. I'm Catherine, 5'3". I'm a little old lady. Whatever. So that's a limited definition of who you are. But when you get into the truth of who you are as your higher self, as your eternal being, then you recognize your innate power. You recognize that you are creating everything that you're currently experiencing. And if it doesn't feel good for you, you can literally call in something different. But part of what you need to do to call in something different is to actually remember who you are. And who you are is whole, not broken. Who you are is powerful, not a victim. Who you are is beyond all space and time, eternal. And the people around you are soul friends that you're having fun just having a human experience with, right? And, when you think about, I just want to say that I have a personal practice. Probably my biggest spiritual practice is prayer. And I have a group of people that I pray for every single day by name.
Mm.
And, some of these people are nearby, some of these people are in other countries, but I think of them as soul friends who I get the privilege of playing with in this lifetime, right? And it's such a blessing to get to know other people, to love other people, to share love with other people. One of my best friends actually just passed away about 2 weeks ago. And he was a giant of a man. And he had such a profound positive impact on everybody around him. His parents were blown away. They didn't realize what a serious impact he had on so many people.
Mm.
But when I think about him, I think about what a privilege it was to know him, what a privilege it was to be part of his life and for him to be part of my life and literally all the light and joy that he brought.
Do I have permission to take a step with you? Just get a yes or no out loud. And she's
Absolutely, for
okay.
sure.
So your friend, if you don't mind using the first name or give him a code name, like
Darren, Darren.
Darren. Okay.
Yeah,
Just hear from Charlotte that we can take this step with Darren. If you don't mind closing your eyes, but put your hand out like you're getting $50 off camera to the side so that a relative could come in and hold your hand. So, like if you had a relative come in or a friend come in to hold your hand, let Charlotte hold your hand first, elegant in her 50s, 60s, like Audrey Hepburn's sister, very elegant, very fun. Let us know when you've got her hand. Here's
yes.
something very private. You're not going to share it out loud. Get a beautiful hug that ripples all the way down to the bottom chakra. And then let put your other hand out. Let Darren come in and hold your hand, and just feel a beautiful light from him, a hug. But if you want to get a few words, you don't have to say more than got it.
Got it.
Beautiful. Okay. And between Charlotte, Darren, some of the other angels, what's a reminder for all of us to walk a smoother path, to breathe easier, to not take everything at face value, which is where we tend to get stuck. So again, up in the brain, there's a million ways to say unconscious or thinking or knowing something that precludes possibility. It's shut tight like an oyster. And in your heart, the world's your oyster. What's the message they all want to deliver?
You're a soul having a human experience. And after my dear friend passed away, what I got was he was someone who explored consciousness
Ooh.
in very many ways. And what I get is that he's sort of like, he was sort of done with the earth plane and he wanted to do his work from the other side,
Oh.
right? So it's like, okay, I've played over here for a while. Now I want to play from the spiritual dimension, right? And he felt that that was a way where he could make an even bigger impact by working from the spiritual dimension. Even when he was alive, I referred to him as an earth angel
Mm.
because he uplifted everyone around him. And, since his passing, whenever you know someone who's truly a great human being, that has a big impact on you. Because I'm like, how can I be more like Darren? And he was truly one of the most joyful people I've ever met. He was always very happy. He had a million friends. And there's that wonderful phrase, don't worry, be happy.
Mm.
And Darren embodied that so much. And I knew him, he just like everybody else, he had his good times and his bad times. During COVID, he had to sell his beloved property and lay off 17 people. But it was like he, don't worry, be happy. And he just listened. He very much valued intuitive guidance, which was part of why he and I were great friends. And he complimented me. He said, Catherine, you're the living embodiment of Edgar Casey. So he was always talking to me about getting guidance. But he never let himself get down. It was
Mm,
like, all right, this is happening, and then he just pivoted to the next dimension
mm.
and to the next where he was divinely led. So,
And
uh,
it's odd that we were saying "Don't worry, be happier" earlier in the show, but not an
yeah,
accident. I
yeah.
have a few more figures for you. It'll be Thich Nhat Hanh in a little bit, Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, one more bigger figure, deity like from India. But I'm going to start with this Sri Kaleshwar, who was very young when he transitioned. But one of our guests, Alan Steinfeld, out of New York City, but maybe more out of Mexico now. I'm not sure. He's been a guest on the show. He interviewed him, and I've got two 26-minute interviews up on my fun playlist on my channel. If you want to
Mhm.
meet a really high vibe pastor teacher guru who was love on an Indian breeze, tight with
Mhm.
angels, and the lineage of Sai Baba,
Mhm.
fantastic. But here he is, Sri Kaleshwar. If you could get something, a private message that's very uplifting, and have him tidy up any emotions that popped out over Darren, and then get, again, a very encouraging private message. What's his message for everyone, though, about angels trusting more and asking for assistance on the biggest or littlest of tasks?
What I get from him, Michael, is to see every person in your life as a soul friend.
Mm.
And so many of us, we develop ego opinions, like, I don't like this person, or I don't like how this politician is doing this or that. But when you realize that everyone in your life has a purpose for you at a soul level, and then they're actually your friend, even if they're awakening
Mm.
something in you, they're pushing you to grow, you know, they're hurting you so much that you do the deep inner work to become the person that you need to be. So, so
That's
he's
so
saying,
beautiful.
yes, he's saying to see everybody in your life as a soul friend.
And if people need a reminder that you're not your thoughts, then the movie Peaceful Warrior, it may be deleted scenes, but the movie Peaceful Warrior, very much like a Disney film with Nick Nolte, Scott Meklowitz, Amy Smart. It's like a adult Karate Kid thing. You might think it's just a gymnastics movie, but it's drilled home in the book Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. And in the movie, you are not your thoughts. So it's okay if a thought pops up like a reactive thought about somebody you know really well, somebody you saw on a YouTube podcast, something situational. You're not your thoughts. So you can just feel what you feel, do not judge. And even if you did judge, don't attach any importance to it. Breathe and you'll learn to be happy. No worries. Okay, here's Thich Nhat Hanh. And if you don't mind getting a 5 to 6, 7, 8 sense sensory experience, allow for a Vietnamese Buddhist temple to be right behind you. Start
Mhm.
catching the incense from the temple. Hear those bells, wind chime things that make music in the wind. And if you could also feel the land of Vietnam, the highest vibration, his blessing, if you could add an extra, and even hear chanting monks in the background, very elegant, sacred. So far, are you getting a lot of that?
Yes, and what I get his message is at the moment is that it's very important for each individual to have a spiritual practice. And just like different people like different kinds of exercise, like I know you enjoy running, I enjoy teaching yoga. And so everybody's spiritual practice is going to be different for you, but you want to have that deep personal spiritual practice so that you feed your soul on a daily basis. And he's saying that just like you feed your body with food, and move your body with exercise, you want to connect to the greatness of the soul that you already are and to connect to that higher power, that God source on a daily basis so that you feel uplifted and supported all day long.
I Beautiful. Every answer today has been beautiful. Catherine, a two-step thing from him to you, if you could allow for this and let, Joy be a beautiful helper, or Minn or Charlotte or all the above. Let him touch you on the forehead, get an explosion of consciousness in you that's beautiful. Let a little bit of healing go into your body regarding the surgery. And then also, when you come out of that and your eyes are open again, if you don't mind letting him touch you there and a blessing, it could be the top of the head or the forehead. And then if you don't mind moving your hand through the air, you can see light coming off of your hand. Let it be an interdimensional movement where you're letting light come off your hand. It can be, whoop. And are you getting all the above?
Yes,
Okay. All right. One more figure. In India, more well known. If Ganesh is okay, is that all right?
yes.
Okay. It'll be just a second while I look for. There's a fun painting drawing. Not as fun. Hold on. Fun. And at home, if people want to throw finger paint or exhale like a whale, if too much thinking's going on, you're judging about anything, here's Ganesh. Just think of good
Mhm.
fortune being in your heart and allowing your sails on your sailboat to go full. What are you feeling from Ganesh? What are you getting from Ganesh?
I'm getting the abundance of nature, and that so many people look at different aspects of their life and see lack and limitation. And what Ganesha is saying is to look at the abundance of nature, the fullness of the sky, the groundedness of the earth, the beauty of the forest, the amazing song of the birds. That when we connect to nature on a regular basis, then you remind yourself of the fullness and abundance of life that's supporting you always.
Brilliant. We'll get back to serious topics in just a second. We're going to do a final, maybe not final, but another intuitive sort of step. I don't know. We'll call it whooshing. I
Mhm.
already blew sage. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put my hand up in Texas, and it's just love and above, not my bill-paying side or, oh my God, my football team or my college football team's not going to win tonight. None of my human thinking side, just love and above the heart, whatever you want to call it. Um, Opening openness. How about that? Suchness. Fun. I'm
Yeah.
going to put my hand up. If you could put your hand up in Atlanta, let us know what are you feeling for a flow.
Yeah. So definitely connection, right? An energetic connection. But I'm just getting a blessing for everyone listening. And just a reminder of who you actually are and to connect to the soul that you are, the power that you are, and to connect to the beauty of the infinite God source that supports you always.
Beautiful. Okay, a couple more quotes. Slowing down will be sort of one of the topics. Slowing down helps kindle compassion and
Mhm.
creates joy. An angel named Heather said that. And then Dull Knife, a Native American chief, said, the work along the path, so daily life, the work along the path leads to compassion and joy. I'd love for you to talk about it. Here's Heather. And if you don't mind catching Heather, an angel is
Mm.
the word Heather rearranged is the word heart with a few extra letters. She loves
Mhm.
making hearts in her photos. She's compassionate. I've seen her as a human in Maui, Vegas, New York, Austin, Sweden, Stockholm, and somewhere else. The point is, let her influence you on this one. So slowing down helps kindle compassion and creates joy. The work along the path leads to compassion and joy. Dull Knife. What are you getting for us?
So I'm going to go back to a personal experience, which is that September 29th, about 2 months ago now, I had total hip replacement surgery. And pain, nobody likes to be in pain, just like nobody really likes crying. But pain serves a purpose because when you're in a lot of pain, you literally can't move. So your whole life comes to, you know, almost a complete stop. So I spent a lot of time in a recliner, a reclining armchair. And yet there was still joy. So even though I didn't feel like I usually feel, just by being in the moment and being present with myself and being in a state of appreciation, I appreciated the doctor, I appreciated the nurses. I appreciated all my friends who brought me and my partner lovely meals. So, so when let go of judgment about how things are, how I think I should be. I think I should have no pain. I think this should be over already. You know, I think that I shouldn't be 66 and my body should feel like it did when it was 22. So when we let go of those projections and judgments and simply dive into, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm whole, I'm at peace, then you can have that experience of joy no matter, even in the midst of tremendous pain.
This is continual brilliance from Catherine Carrigan. I love this. There was a third quote. Oh, no, there were four quotes on the piece of paper. The third quote is compassion brings success. But the fourth quote is the one that I feel like you just stated. So learn to take life really one moment at a time.
Mm,
And I like that a lot. So Audrey Hepburn jumped in, and she's an angel, and this is a historical photo. And we all know historical photos can't move, but they can. So if you don't mind leaving your eyes on this photo, I think she's moved for you before, and you love Audrey.
yeah.
Catch a perfume from Paris, Milan, uninvented, beautiful in the air. Is she winking, smiling, hands move, shoulder waggle? What are you getting from movement?
She has a Mona Lisa smile, that's for sure, right? So a deep her smile has a deep knowing. There's a recognition of who you are, who I am, who we are. That's what I get.
And can you show close your eyes and let her show you a vision? You're not going to share that out loud unless you really want to, but have her then also one more point for all of us after you're done getting something private. Breathe through the mouth at home if you need extra help. Ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart. Put a hand on your heart if you need extra help. Allow. No try Yoda. Always try Archangel Gabriel. So it's not about words. They're both correct. Just breathe. And what are you getting from Audrey that you can share?
I'm getting to be in a state of wonder. To be in a state, if there's one word, it would be wow, right?
Hmm.
So, you know how sometimes, like I told you about going down to my healing room and seeing the angels come in over my orchids, and it was like, wow, wow, this is so beautiful. And there they are. And yet, we can look around us at any moment and go, wow, there's Michael, and he's helping us connect to our angels and connecting us to the truth of who we are. And you can look out in any moment, it's like, wow, after everything I've been through, I'm still here. And there's all these wonderful people around me who are soul friends, who are walking with me on on my soul
Hmm.
path.
So this is a multi-layered sort of non-question question next thing. I think it's Richard Hawkins who's passed over, who has the light scale, the frequency scale, the 0 to 1,000, whatever. We're going to get
Dr.
into
Yeah, sorry,
100.
Dr. David Hawkins. Yes,
David Hawkins. I always mess up the name, but
right.
not Dawkins, the thinker who's the
No,
scientist that clashes with Rupert Sheldrake.
yeah.
Definitely not. Not that we don't love him too. He offers lots of his way to the earth. Great. But I'm going to put up Isabel and Angel, and it's going to be a historical photo from the 1950s, but this photo comes alive. So we're going to go beyond words, and you're going to hopefully get a very dimensional experience that then ties into that scale. Let her take you to 1,000 or 1,001 with a cherry on top. Let that be the cherry. Let joy spike you above what Hawkins said was possible. Doc Hawkins. Um, and you're going to put both hands out. She's going to be like a solar flare. She's going to move in the photo. That'll be the last words out of you. You'll say, is she smiling more, winking more, something? She's intense. She's incredible. She's inner calm. And so, this extra solar flare of love, let it be a healing experience, a dimensionality experience. And out of all this, hopefully, you're going to come back with something fun to share. Is she moving more in the photo? And if you could breathe more with your heart going up and down and your shoulders going up and down, allow a full shaking Shaktipat meets Samadhi Satori.
She's just blinking. She's looking straight from my soul into her soul and from her soul into the soul of everyone listening. So it's like a soul to soul recognition. She's seeing and knowing who we are.
And if you can close your eyes, let her vibrate you for like 30 seconds here. Full dimensionality, a lot of angels piling on, and breathe at home extra and allow shoulders up and down. If your shoulders are going up and down like a bellow, you're doing it right. Couple professional nose breathers out there, that's okay, but shoulders up and down. And let her take you somewhere, and the 30 seconds that you have might feel like 2 to 3 minutes. You don't have to share it, but out of it will come a dimensionality Hawkins talk. And then let joy pump you over the fence to the 1001 level for a brief second. If you need a visual, there's joy as well. Catch confetti on a text exploding or fireworks. Or Enya on a bow of a ship. I don't know how to describe it. Did you get a little extra burst of high level vibes?
What I get from her, the message of that experience is that even a brief encounter with an angel, even just a few microseconds of angel encounter, true interaction with our angels can shift everything. And again, it goes back to the ease and the joy, and that so many people think that things have to be difficult or complicated or have many, many steps. And yet, simply by having a true connection with an angel that can shift your vibration exponentially and literally lift you up out of every challenge that you think you're experiencing.
Hmm. Angels can truly alter your path. A few things are sometimes written. You signed up for certain stuff. And the only way I know how to say it is like a Olympic downhill slalom ski course. There are those gates. You have at least three or four in your lifetime. You got to make it through those gates. You signed up for the gates. And angels sometimes interfere. Like you were going off course and they're like, a heavy wind came along and moved your skis and you were forced through the gates. There is some interference once in a while on your behalf. Most of the time, no interference because it's more important you have your own experience. Could you address the experience thing and how important it is as it is right now in your life? And I'll do one more quote on experience. Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want.
Yes. Well, my stepfather, when he was alive, he used to have a little framed saying in his kitchen, actually right behind the bottles of wine, and it said, "This is God. Relax. I'm in charge."
I really like that one. That's really good. Okay, I do have a I put these sayings on a piece of paper that was like my mantra sheet. I didn't know what a mantra was then when I did it. My very first house I owned in Austin, I put it behind this one door to the laundry room where, you'd have to look hard to see all these sayings. I'm going to pick one saying, and could you let it propel you into a broader statement of some sort? Ah, here it is. I've got many on this list. A jewel buried in earth a million years is not discolored or harmed, and so a genuine heart can be brought out in anyone, anytime.
That's beautiful. Well, again, I think, and I'm going to bring it back to what I do because with my work as a medical intuitive healer, I see the beautiful soul that you already are. And so many people, again, we have all these self-definitions that like cloud our understanding of who we really are. And so these are definitions that have been projected onto us by our family or by our society, or we've simply given up and we've forgotten. But when you again connect to the truth of who you are, it is that beautiful gem that cannot be destroyed in any way.
Brilliant. Wrapping up in a second, we'll do a final couple of exercises. In a little bit, I'll ask you for a mantra, a new one, not necessarily one that's part of your repertoire, a fresh
Sure.
one, maybe from an angel or your favorite figure.
Hmm.
And you'll repeat it 3 times so people can pick up on your vibe. But before that, with your permission, I'm going to whoosh some light your way. It's really angels. We're going to blame Joy, blame Charlotte, blame Audrey Hepburn,
Hmm.
Claire, Harmony, and the rest of the gang. Dale, your angels as well. I'm going to whoosh. Do I have permission just to do the goose looking thing?
Hmm.
Okay, my microphone's down below. I'll be blowing into it. If you could allow for Hawaii, aloha, aroha from New Zealand, anything, a lot of love and vibe. Here it comes. And as they said in Goodwill Hunting, how about them apples? Is that okay?
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
What mantra would you like to share with us?
To remember the great I am. And so again, it's like whenever you say the word I am, you're invoking the truth of of who you are. And so I think people need to be more mindful every time they say I am. But I'm a strong, incredibly resilient, happy soul, enjoying the fruits of my life on this planet in this lifetime.
Catherine Carrigan, amazing guest. I love having you on and looking forward to having you on again in mid 2026. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.